Hey, good morning, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Wednesday at February 8th, and it's 4:51 in the a.m. Check this out. I'm reading this. The title just jumped out at me, and the reason that the title jumped out at me um, is because it speaks to me on a level that only the people who know me can relate to, and it's entitled "The Pure at Heart." Now, people who know me, who on a personal level, who have spent time with me, who have been mentored by me, who have been counseled by me, know that that is my expressed desire. Um, Words sometimes get in the way. Actions are sometimes misconstrued. Anger clouds judgment on both sides. Um, Frustration clouds judgment on both sides. But anybody who's ever worked with me know that this is my expressed desire, and that that I've listened, I've heard your vision, I've prayed, and I've discerned God's vision in the situations that are presented to me or shared with me, and I show up to assist you in meeting that goal. And there are times where people think I'm picking on them or being mean. But again, if you come through on the other side and you don't quit, you will understand that my intentions were nothing but pure. And my desire to help you achieve a goal has no, I won't say I have no vested interest in it. That's your work. I'm just holding you accountable to do what you said you were going to do, and to assist you with the burden when it becomes too much. Okay, pure heart, and it is taken from Insight for Living, which is Chuck Swindoll. It's online. The scripture references Matthew chapter 23, verses 13 through 29. It says, when Jesus spoke of being pure in heart in Matthew 5:8, it's a continuation of the Beatitudes, folks. He emphasized the inner person, the motive, the heart. The phrase does not refer simply to doing the right things, but doing the right things for the right reason. Being free from duplicity, hypocrisy, and or sham. God desires his servants to be real people, authentic to the core. The portrait he paints is realistic. Authenticity is important in all that you do. If you've followed me for any length of time, if you heard me speak in any given time, I often say that I come in like a ballerina on a grand jeté. Here I am, love me. Faults, frailties, and all. I'm not hiding who I am, ever. And some people embrace it, some people can't stand it. And you know what? I'm okay with all of it. Any aspect of how it is embraced or rebuked, because I know who I am and I know whose I am. It says, in Jesus' day, many of the religious authorities that claimed to serve the people were not pure in heart. Far from it. Hypocritical and phony. They played a role that lacked integrity and that lacked internal integrity. Skipped over that word, internal integrity. In Matthew 23, one of the most severe rebukes against hypocrisy in the entire Bible, we find words in strong contrast with the Beatitudes of Matthew 5. Instead of 8 blessed are you, there are 8 woe to you. Count them. And the scriptural references are Matthew 23, It's chapter 23, and it's verses 13, 14, 15, 16, 23, 25, 27, and 29. Woe unto you. It says, Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you clean the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside they are full of robbery and self-indulgence. Can you associate anything in your present day with that? You know, for me, on certain levels, I see the concept of mega church. It says, you blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and of the dish, so that the outside of it may become clean also. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like the whitewashed tombs, which on the outside appear beautiful, but inside they are full of dead men's bones and uncleanness. So you too outwardly appear righteous to men, but inwardly you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. And that's chapter 23, verses 25 to 28. Again, for me, I'm thinking of the concept of megachurch. You have all these little branches and these things that appear to be ministry and on some levels serve a purpose, but on other levels you see the drive for profit and showmanship. I want you to think about that. You know, the church is a building, right? That's how we identify church. But the church is also here. So if you're more concerned with the outward appearance, what's the inward looking like? Because if you notice the scripture that's being cited talks about cleaning the inside, and God works from the inside out. We are the only creatures that are concerned with how we look to man. You know, we've disregarded scholars and I want to say geniuses because they didn't look right to us. It says, wow, Jesus said that. It's doubtful he despised anything among those who claim to serve God more than hypocrisy, a lack of purity of heart. Did you notice what he characterized the phony Pharisees? They were big on rules and little on godliness. They were big on externals and little on internals. They were big on public commands and little on personal obedience. They were big on appearance and little on reality. And I like that line. They were big on public commands and little on personal obedience. And I think about how the world strives and kind of prowls and seeks to expose that hypocrisy. The world loves a scandal, and they love it even more when they can expose the hypocrisy of a Pharisee or a Sadducee. I want you to think about what I just said in the context of public scandal. On the outside, they appeared to be righteous men, but inwardly they were full of dead men's bones, full of hypocrisy. Why did he hate that so much? Because it represented the antithesis of servanthood. Time after time, therefore, he announced, woe to you. Now I'm going back to big on public commands and little on personal obedience. Are you open and receptive to checking your motives? Are you open and receptive to receiving feedback about, your MO, or as I like to say, your get down? We like to use the word hustle and grind. And dare I say, many of us are in trap houses. If you don't know what that means, I suggest you Google the Urban Dictionary and look up what a trap house is. Back to Matthew 5:8. The pure at heart. Jesus extols this virtue. The term pure literally means clean. It's the idea of being uncontaminated without corruption or alloy. Without corruption or alloy. What's alloy? Is something added to. You know, a binding agent. What are you bound to? It says without guile, sincere and honest in motive. Guard your heart. That's what the scripture says. Because all things flow from it. I won't say all life flows from it. Are you open? Again, posing the question. Are you open to hearing from your homeowners association? Or do you just maintain the facade, going along to get along in the world? What's in your heart? Is it full of dead man's bones?